Ankita,
Ji.
please introduce yourself to the board members.
So, myself Ankita Pandey. I have done my graduation in 2005 from Awadh University, and then I moved to Banaras Hindu University, and I did MSc in physics from there. And then I qualified GATE and NET, and then I went to IIT Madras. I pursued my physics PhD in physics there, and then after finishing my research work there, I joined Nagoya University as a research associate, and I worked for 2 years almost there. And then I thought of joining the administration services, and then I came here.
You have already joined?
No, I have not
You have
joined.
Okay, right. Ankita, we can see that you have got quite a lot of exposure. You have visited various parts of the country. You also visited, in other parts of the world. So, if somebody suspects, if somebody says that you have lost the Bihar connection, how will you say? I respond to this.
Sir, actually, I connected more to Bihar when I went outside abroad, because it got me feeling that I'm Indian. When I was here in India, then I was Bihari or from UP. But when I moved to abroad, then it is true feeling that I came to know I'm an Indian, and so in that sense, I got more connected to Bihar. And going abroad is the main reason to coming here in Bihar, because before that I had no intention. In 2000 till 16-18, I had no intention to coming in administrative services. Then I went abroad, and I thought, why other situation is so miserable in Bihar or in our hometown? Why it is so? Because I very naturally I started to comparing the position and all the facilities at the world level or more developed countries. So this is the reason I came here. So in that sense, I'm got more connected to Bihar.
Okay, Ankita, you have spent 2 years in Japan.
Yes.
So how do you contrast and compare Japan with India?
So there might be 3 or 4 indicators for this. So first is the manner or the mindset of the people. So first contradiction is here. The people in Japan, they are like very well mannered, and manner is the most important thing for them. If you ask any sort of address or something, so they will take it to that address. And then similarity is that in Bihar also I could see the people they are very cooperative, and then they are very helping. I feel very safe here. The second contradiction is the waste management. Japan is the most neat and clean city. Even in considering toilets, they are very specific and unique. And the river, that the water management system they do follow in Japan, I wish that we could bring here in Bihar. So that is the...
Okay, you must be aware of the fact that at one point of time in history, we were at part with Japan. But somehow it happened that Japan, progressed a lot, but India has been lagging behind. So, what all factors are responsible for this? Just tell me 1, 2, 3 factors.
So there are most important thing I will prioritize. So first was that freight equalization policy, and after that less funding from central government in Bihar, and third is I think mindset of the people.
Okay, you are often emphasizing on this mindset of the people. What do you understand by mindset of the people? What is mindset actually?
Sir, when I do compare the people from outside and here, I do observe that the people from all other that outside or abroad, they have very progressive kind of and they are very keen to use new technologies and learning new things. But I don't find it. People they are not very keen, and
why this is so? Why the mindset of the people is backward here in Bihar?
So it is not backward. I do not say, because I am also Bihari, I do not say it's backward, but the people they do not have very much exposure of the outside. It's like they do see what the media and the other social platform they wanted to see them, so it's like that.
Okay, you are teaching over there?
Sir,
research associate.
Yes, so our duty, it is part of our we have to mentor the graduate level student during our research program. So I taught as a programming language for some student, for graduate level student.
So you were interacting with the Japanese over there?
Yes, a lot,
Do you
because
know Japanese also?
very few words like good morning or
Okay, how, what was the mode of communication with them?
English.
English. Are they, well acquainted with this subject?
No,
English?
no, because
So-
even they learn and they teach in Japanese. So
Mhm.
I found somehow sort of like I learned some. I use Google and I learned some words in Japanese so that I can.
Was the language a barrier for you over there?
No, sir.
It didn't.
No.
So, because as you said that you don't know Japanese and they are also not very good at English. So, how you used to communicate your ideas with those people?
So with the use of technology, with the use of like Google, and then I can translate,
Mhm.
or I could use some words of Japanese I learned there, and then
Mhm.
I use Google Translate. So it was not a barrier.
In what sense, in what way Japanese educational system is different than that of India?
So in Japan, they very much emphasize on research, because in BSc, the last year, the people they were doing project there. But here, even I have not done any project during my graduation. So that is the one.
Ankita, you must have heard the name of one of the Sen, the famous economist. He has often emphasized on this primary education. He said in his book, India's Participation of Development, that Japanese, they have emphasized a lot on primary education, but Indians, in that sense, have not done that much of emphasis on primary education. So, did you find anything different there in as far as primary education is concerned?
Yes, sir. Primary education, they do not have burdens of books and other things. They very much emphasize on playground. So I found it's very interesting. Each and every school they have playground, and they insist people to play in with mud and all these students. They do not have sort of, a specified curriculum for class 1 or 2 or something. So in that sense, I found it is very much flexible. So people, if they learn and grow at their own pace.
Okay, tell me the Indian-Japanese relation today.
So we have completed our diplomatic relation with Japan, I think 70 years of that ties, and recently we have also signed I think 6 MOU with Japan, and we have nice coordination on each and every level, including infrastructure development, like in Banaras, that Japanese government has supported us to make a Rudraksh, that thing, and then that Shinkansen bullet train, and so infrastructure development as well as on educational part as well as on financial support. We are using of that our diplomatic ties with them.
Okay, last question from my side. How many more years it will take for Indian rupee to catch up with the Japanese currency?
Sir, we do not need to do that, and I actually do not have idea that comparison.
Thank you.
Okay, Ankita. You belong to UP or Bihar?
Sir, my birthplace was in UP, but after marriage I became Bihari.
Okay. So your birthplace was in UP Pratapgarh.
Ji.
So you have, I've just seen your DAF, you have good academic career. So why did you want to enter into the administration?
Sir, that's what I said, that when I went abroad till 2016 or 17, I had no intention to come in administration. But when I completed my job there at Naga University, then I took a maternity leave break. And then I thought that I started comparison the situation is in abroad and here. So that was a turning point that I started reading about all the literature and then constitution and other things. Then I started sort of like getting my satisfaction to work in some NGO, but it did not I didn't get any satisfaction. So I thought that administration is the more basic platform where I should go.
Graduation in 2005.
Ji.
So you have spent nearly 15 years in academia and such sort of things. So what's the use of these 15 years?
Sir, it will be dramatic or sort of very helpful for me if I could bring all my expertise in administration. I know that I cannot bring any revolution, but bringing at the right place at the right time of the right person is the thing I wanted to be here in administration. I can use my expertise. First thing I learned during my academics is a coordination, and this is the thing that I can use here. And then the use of technology, sort of like solid waste management and that water management problem that are very.
You have physics as your optional.
Yes,
so
sir.
what's the use of physics in administration?
Sir, use of physics, it could be on various level, at application level and at the sort of like learning level also. So at application level, I could, if suppose I'm a sort of administration job of somebody, then I could say, please use this instrument or that instrument, it will be better. That flooded system and these things, geopositioning system, I could have better understanding and that idea of other people who is not from physics background.
Okay, you born in UP and you married in Bihar. So in UP there is a yogi model, as you know,
Yes.
and in Bihar there is a Nitish model.
Yes, sir.
So what's the similarity and difference between these two models of government, and which one is better?
Sir, I should say that no model is perfect. It depends on the requirement of the grassroots level and people. So the requirement and the demand of the people here in Bihar and UP is different. So I think the Yogi model is in UP and the Nitish model is in Bihar. They are doing their at good place, and then certainly I see a very nice improvement in 10-15 year in Bihar and UP. But there are many fronts we can do much better in infrastructure and
You
other
just
things.
told that the demands in Bihar and UP are different, but as far as I know, both these two states are almost similar in their demands and in their aspirations.
So if I do see very specific requirement, then in Bihar we have to deal with water management. In UP we do not have such sort of like that problem. There is one thing. Other thing is this. I mean, Bihar is like we have thappa of that. Okay, it's backward state. UP is not sort of like that. So if I go out and say I'm Bihari, the other part of country they do not see very respectable and this thing. So there are two major things that I do see different in UP and Bihar. Branding, I should say, actually, sorry.
And okay, there is a controversy about the loudspeaker ban. And so, what's your take on this controversy? Should we ban loudspeaker for azan and all this?
So there should be, I mean, it should be under constitution that our rights should not sort of disturb other people's, I mean, their basic necessities. But banning loudspeaker, they could just switch, just less the volume, and then they could do whatever they are doing. So we should think much more on that progressive level, that harmony should be there in the community rather than doing this, I mean, banning or not
Is there any
banning.
guidance about use of loudspeaker?
Sir, I'm not very aware, but yes, because that noise pollution level there should be less than 53 decibel. So I think there should be some guideline, but I'm not aware about
So,
it.
suppose you have given a first preference as a DSP. So, if you have to enforce this guidance, what will you do?
So first, I mean, because this matter is related to, I mean, to the religious, it's a religious matter. So first I would try to convince that religious gurus like Maulvis in a masjid and that Pandits in mandir. So I will try to first convince them so that they can tell and convince the people there, okay, you should not do this or you should do this.
How will you convince them?
I will use sort of moral policing kind of thing. I will take a bunch of people who will respect constitution and who believe in them.
What is moral policing?
So moral policing is that group leaders from different communities or religious that leaders of that the police, they can coordinate with them, and then according to that they can enforce their rules and laws.
Okay. Okay. We have seen. Um, what is your view regarding same-sex marriage?
It's their wish. I mean, the one, if he is adult, then he should be decide he is going to marry whom. So I think it's on their wish.
Is it legal in India?
It's not legal in India, but there are some parts in the country where it is legal.
Can you name some of the states where it is legal?
I do not remember exactly. Sorry, sir, I don't remember. But I know that there are some countries.
Can you tell me something about the recent political developments in Pakistan?
Yes, sir. That the Prime Minister there, Imran Khan, he has to resign because his government was in not in Bahmat. I do not remember the exact word of Bahmat. Then he has to resign, and then the new government.
Who is the new Prime Minister?
I do not remember, but he's from that.
Which party?
I do not remember, sir.
What is the name of the Imran Khan's party?
No, sir. Sorry, I do not know.
Ankita,
Yes, sir.
you said that you have not basically lost the contact with the Bihari lad. I want to know, do you know about litti chokha, the cliche Bihari food? How to make litti chokha?
Yes, sir. It's that.
How will you cook? So if I say you tell me the recipe of cooking litti, how will you cook that?
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but I would love to explain it in Hindi.
Yeah.
सर, आटे को गूंथ करके उसमें हम कुछ मोयन डाल देते हैं, घी और अजवाइन, नमक, थोड़ा सा टेस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग अगर धनिया या नमक भी डाल सकते हैं, और आटा थोड़ा सा मतलब सॉफ्ट होना चाहिए, और उसको थोड़ी देर रख देते हैं सेट होने के लिए, और फिर हम चोखा बना लेते हैं टेस्ट के हिसाब से, आलू या फिर मटर, बैगन, टमाटर जो भी उस समय उपलब्ध हो, और उसे करके फिर हम उसमें सरसों का तेल या नमक, या फिर आप चोखे को फ्राई भी कर सकते हैं। और लिट्टी दो तरह की बनाते हैं, एक या तो आलू भर के, सत्तू भर के, या प्लेन वाली थी, और नॉर्मल घर में हम प्रीफर करते हैं वो उपले में आग लगा के, तो वी कैन रोस्ट इट देयर नाइसली एंड डिप इन घी एंड देन।
That's great. So, tell me about the Lokgeet. Any one Lokgeet of Bihar?
सर, सोहर और शादियों में यहाँ पे गाते हैं।
कोई गीत है जो आपको पता है, आप गा सकते हैं?
सर, एक बहुत फेमस भी तो मैं रिकॉल नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, लेकिन वो बच्चे के जन्म के समय गाते हैं। ललना नहीं सर, अभी रिकॉल नहीं कर पा रही हूँ।
You're married, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what's your husband name?
His name is Amitabh Bachchan.
So, tell me 5 similarity between Amitabh Bachchan and your husband Amitabh Bachchan.
So he is very focused. My husband is very focused, and he's very, positive thinker. That's why I'm here. And third thing, he supports to family as Amitabh Bachchan. He also does.
Okay.
And I think
Just 3.
I can tell about my husband, but
Okay. Optional subject is physics, isn't it?
yes.
Okay, that's good. So, can you tell me about Higgs boson? What is Higgs boson? The God particle, basically.
Yes, sir. Well, I do not know exactly, but this is made of quarks, and it's a very elementary particle. When you collide like very elementary particle, electron, proton, neutron, or alpha particle at a very high speed in collider, then it came into the existence.
What is boson, basically?
Boson is also a elementary particle. I think, I do not remember, but it is made of.
So can you explain me about space-time depth?
Yes. So space-time depth is like concept of x, y, z, and t dimension, and so we can measure any happening or any event there. We can go not in the sort of past. It is not possible. The dimension is ICT, that imaginary, and that's all that.
Okay. How will you explain E equal to MC square to a 10-year-old child?
Well, so I should say that if there are sort of water in the glass, then we can convert this into energy.
I think you have done your postdoc in Japan, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So you were at which town? Which town?
Nagoya.
Nagoya. So tell me about Nagoya Protocol.
I do not remember, sir. I do not know.
Okay. You know the term genetic diversity?
I have heard, yes.
So how will you explain it? How will you explain genetic diversity? Basically, this Nagoya Protocol was about the genetic diversity thing. So access to genetic diversity. So what do you understand by the term genetic diversity?
I mean, it's sorry, sir.
Okay.
I could not frame it in the proper word.
So you can speak in Hindi even.
It's okay, no problem in language, but I do not know the.
Okay. How will you basically differentiate the problem of child sex ratio in Japan vis-a-vis India?
Okay. So I do not know what is the child sex ratio there in Japan, but I know that the population, it is decreasing there at alarming level in Japan.
Mhm.
So they are very much concerned about that. But here we have, for example, according to this National Family Health Survey Report 5, the Bihar's fertility rate is 3. So this is not the problem here. But about child sex ratio, I'm not aware about it, sir.
Okay. Where do we find Jutland Peninsula?
Jute?
Jutland Peninsula. That's a peninsula. Where do we find that? Why? Because that Jutland Peninsula basically reflect in your DAF. So
I mean, jute here we grow in Bihar in Pune.
no, it's
Okay.
Jutland Peninsula. So it is peninsula of Yara. So Denmark basically.
Okay.
So Denmark is part of Jutland Peninsula.
Okay, I'm not aware about it, sir.
Okay. Tell me something about ring of. You must have studied the geography for general studies, isn't it? So Pacific Ring of Fire. What do you understand by this?
So there are very much high volcanic activities in that region, and this is surrounded in Pacific Ocean from that USA, Western coast, including that Japan, and then this Asia island is in somewhat nearby in South China Sea, and this region it is.
Okay. You know about Nash equilibrium? What do you understand by Nash equilibrium?
Yes, sir. I have heard about it. So Nash was a very well-known mathematician, and he had done a lot of contribution in electronics and this theory, but I do not remember about it.
Okay, last question. You are honest?
Yes, I'm honest.
What
Correct.
is proof?
So whatever I'm getting answer, I'm telling that, and whatever I'm not getting, not.
Give me 3 evidences, basically based on which we can decide that you are honest.
So first evidence is here in this current room,
Okay.
and then second evidence that I should say that I mean it is more legal, and if one time I was traveling in a train and I do not have a ticket of that particular reserve bogie, then I moved to that general coach and I traveled there. This is the second evidence, and third I can
And
say.
that could be because of the fear of TTT.
I mean, no, sir. Okay.
Okay.
And third is that I mean, in exams and other things that I had qualified and I did not do cheating.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Ankita, your interview is over. Nice talking to you. Just wait for a few minutes. I'll give you the feedback. Ankita, I think you have to lie down because I'll get the video. So you are a very good candidate, and we are sure that you are going to get through. And a very good candidate, genuine candidate, right?
Okay,
There are certain things which where we can improve upon. First thing is your sitting posture, because your legs were behind these two first two.
Okay,
This would be the ideal one. Take that will be ideal. And I think your this formal dress you have to wear there. So next time whenever you come with that formal dress.
So sir, I will be wearing the same kurta, only I am going to change
These things.
These things I will change.
Interesting. See, I think your biodata, your DAF is so rich. There are so many areas where they'll ask questions. In fact, they'll be very, very interested to know. More than questions, they'll have inquiries in their mind. Because they'll come to with the moment they'll see Japan, Denmark, and this and that, whatever you have done. So they'll be more interested in knowing those things. So be ready for that.
Okay. So
the best thing of your DAF is that you can single-handedly win the day just because of the question that will get from your DAF, which will be quite expected. So our suggestions would be that, say for example, Japan, Denmark, these are the areas whether they may ask you questions regarding the social life of Japan and India, economic differences and all. There are a lot of questions may be asked. So get some substance for these areas.
Okay.
And what else? See, certain areas, for example, you many times spoke about mindset of the people. This might go, you may not be able to handle it. The moment you say mindset, mindset is something, I don't know whether, how you, why you explain these things over here. Mindset is a product of your society.
Or attitude, I should
Instead
say.
of saying, because this is the result of the society, isn't it? So instead of talking about mindset, you can talk about the differences at the macro level. Like for example, in what sense Japanese are different than Indians. In those which are very, very concrete and you can support with data. Because mindset is something which you cannot support with data.
Okay, so
Okay, this is what mindset is. This is what, whereas the people of Bihar are different. This is something which is very, very,
it's a vague.
unstructured, vague. So don't use this term because they're a very good candidate. Yogi model and Nitish model, before you compare, you have to have the substance, isn't it? Even if you want to say these two are same, then also you have to have the substance. I got my mind.
Yes, sir.
Because you made the conclusion without any
data
or supporting. So you cannot build your opinion unless and until there is a data. So you lack data, you form the opinion. So that was not an officer-like quality.
Okay, sir.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I understand.
So you don't do that. If you don't know, then you can say that I don't have much idea about these two. I know that will be fair enough because sir was asking you that question that whether you are honest or not. So that has got a connection.
Okay, sir.
And loudspeaker issue, I thought that you should be knowing, but you had no idea, no
Yes,
clue
sir.
actually.
Yes, sir.
So this is another area because this is current affairs. You have to work a lot on current affairs.
Okay, sir.
Moral policing is something why did you introduce this term? I don't know, but you don't know actually what is moral policing. So you study on this and then you use this term, right?
Okay, sir.
Same-sex marriage is another one. Get the knowledge. All in all, somewhere you lacked substance and a bit of application was also
Lack of content actually.
because you have got that kind of an experience where they'll be more interested in knowing your application part.
और सर एक पोस्ट प्रेफरेंस के लिए भी मुझे आप लोगों से कुछ आइडिया चाहिए था। तो जैसे अभी इसमें तो एसडीएम वाला नहीं है और मतलब एमईओ और आरडीओ का क्या डिफरेंसेस क्या है दोनों में?
देखिए ये दोनों के लिए हमारे यहाँ पे मैनेजमेंट पे लोग हैं,
जी जी,
वो लोग आपको गाइड कर देंगे।
अच्छा।
उनके पास वो है, बट आवर जनरल ऑब्जर्वेशन इज दैट बिफोर you prefer something over other, you should know.
Yes, sir.
Supposing you are saying I'll prefer B over A. So you need to know the merits and demerits of these two.
Yes.
So since you are such a mature candidate, if they ask that why did you prefer this, not that, so in that case, if you cannot substantiate your argument that this is the reason why I'm going for B, not A, so they might not be very much impressed with that kind of an answer. So there is one thing that technically this is this is that. This is one way of explaining this particular question, that why I prefer this. This is the technical part. Another one is that your liking, whether your suitability as a candidate. Right, you are suitable for maybe desk work, not for field work, maybe suitable for field work, not for this, or liking I'm talking about, the attributes that you have and the required attributes that that are there for a particular post. So obviously your confidence level will be up, and accordingly the body language will be positive. It is not possible that you have got a positive body language, whereas your confidence level is very, very low. It is not possible.
Okay, sir.
Because you are in tune with all this,
Okay.
isn't it? So you are a very good candidate. You'll definitely get through.
Okay, sir.
Thanks. When is your interview date?
20th June, sir.
So I've got time, a lot of time.
Yes.
Keep working, and if you intend to come here again for the second time, to come with some preparation.
Sure, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to add one thing, that here your subject is physics.
Yes, sir.
So obviously brush up your physics. Basically, they'll not ask detailed question, but there is a probability that they'll ask question which relate basically to the current affairs.
Nice.
So into like Nobel Prize in physics. So they may ask. So at least 5 to 6 years back, the person who received Nobel Prize and for what, and what are the basic explanations, like boson, you were not able to explain what is boson. You need to space-time depth, I was not satisfied with your answer. So these sort of simple things, especially related to space, which can be talked in the purview of general studies. So they will not be very specific, but they can be general in that sense. So please brush up that.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.